Do you know that fibroid do not have a cause? And do you also know that fibroid is not because you are not menstruating and your blood has accumulated in your uterus? That is why you have fibroid. No. So join me today as we discuss some myths about fibroid. Myth number 1. Fibroid is not cancerous, meaning that it doesn't have the cancer cells. Every month, the uterus prepares a bed, rich of blood supply, awaiting for baby. So when it gets disappointed by not having baby, it shuts off as menses. So the inner lining of the uterus is one of the major fertile place. Because it's fertile, anything can grow out of it. Just like you have a land, you are not using it for anything. Sometimes weed and things you don't expect grows. As at now, it doesn't have a cause. But one thing that we should also know is that it's not cancerous. It doesn't have any cancer cell in it. So don't be afraid. Don't think that they said I have fibroid, so I'm going to have uterine cancer. No. It's not going to cause you uterine cancer. It's not going to cause you cervical cancer. No. Hysterectomy is not the only treatment. When we say hysterectomy, is about removing your uterus, your entire uterus and cervix, throwing away. That is not the only treatment for uterine fibroid. So I know a lot of people are scared that they said, hey, when I get fibroid, they go do operation for me. I'll not be able to give birth. And no, it's a myth. Actually, fibroid, if you are not having some major signs and symptoms, you are not supposed to be worried about its treatments. If you are not bleeding heavily, because fibroid can cause you to bleed heavily, which is serious for you. If you are not bleeding heavily, if it is not occupying a place where your baby cannot occupy, hence making you infertile. 3, if it is not causing you severe pain. And 4, if the size is not extra big, you don't need to be worried. But should it cause you any of these and you want to have treatments, we have some other varieties. One, they can just open up and take off just the fibroid and throw away, and you still have your uterus. You can give birth. The only thing is that mostly they will advise you that when you're ready to have baby, because when it's taken away, there is a possibility of resurfacing. Yes, because the uterus is lying empty and very rich. So they will mostly advise you that unless you are ready, you know that you are ready to have baby very soon, then you can go have your surgery and take it off. There's another one, we call it UFE. Yeah, I know most hospitals do it, though it's not common, but Ghana, I know Urake, Accra might do it. Yes, just browse UFE, check where they are doing it. That one too, they can just do it without taking your uterus and throwing it away. So that is also a myth. It's not true that if you have uterine fibroid, you can't give birth or you can't keep pregnancy. No. I've seen a lot of people who have fibroid, they've given birth multiple times. It has to do with the size of the fibroid, the location of the fibroid, how many they are. Because if it's big and occupying the space where a baby needs to be kept, sure, it must be taken away, then you can have your pregnancy. Or if it's scattered everywhere, preventing baby from growing, it needs to be taken out. But I know a lot of people who have carried pregnancy with fibroid severally. As I told you, if it's not causing you those major issues that we've mentioned already, don't worry. The only thing is that when you're pregnant with fibroid, it's a bit painful. Yes, anyone who has carried pregnancy with fibroid needs to be on medication, pain medication, because it's painful. Aside that, it will not prevent you from getting pregnant. So please chill out. It's a myth. I know people as young as 20 something, they have fibroid. I know people who had it after their 40s. So it's not true that if you are 30s and 40s, that is when you get fibroid. No, fibroid can come at any time, provided you are in your reproductive stage. You can have it. So don't think that when I reach 30, I'll get fibroid, or after I've crossed 40, I might not get fibroid. It's not true. Research says that about 90% of African women do have fibroid by the time they reach 50 years. That's why I'm telling you that don't worry, okay? Don't worry, because almost everybody, about 90%, when you count 10 people, 9 are having fibroids. The only thing is that if it's not causing you trouble, you allow it to lie somewhere. You also live your life somewhere. Somebody said that my house witches, they are troublesome. Could you imagine? They took away the uterine fibroid and it came again. Leave the witches alone. Uterine fibroid, when they do mammectomy or they take it away and the uterus is still lying idle, unused, there's a possibility that it will come again. Yes, it is growing. Who doesn't want to reach surface? So if you plant your yam or your staple, something, your vegetables on a land, you finish using it or you uproot them and you are not using that land again, you think weed or grass should not grow. It will grow. It's not every fibroid that will cause you heavy bleeding and pain. As I told you, most signs and symptoms of fibroid goes asymptomatically. You won't feel it. You won't see it. Maybe you were going to do something and they did scan or MRI and they realize that you have fibroid. It doesn't mean that you should go and cry. No, relax. Some fibroid can be there many years without causing you problem. So let it be there and you also live your life happily. It's not every fibroid that causes you heavy bleeding or severe pain. But if yours causes you heavy bleeding and severe pain, then you need to be treated. So if somebody tells you that as soon as you have fibroid, you're going to have severe bleeding, you're going to have severe pain, it's a myth. I have seen women who have carried uterine fibroid for years and they died with it. Nothing happened. Fibroid did not kill them. Fibroid did not show any sign. So if you think that if your fibroid is not treated, it will grow big. No, it's not every fibroid that continues growing. Though I have seen somebody that her uterus grew bigger, her abdomen became so big and she felt uncomfortable and they took it away. Yes, if you're having this condition where it is growing, then you need to do something about it. But where they measured some centimeters and it's lying somewhere, live your life. My sister, feel free. As I said, fibroids can remain in their position. You also live, you give your birth, you do everything. It's not every fibroid that needs to be removed. Yes, I know someone, when he hears or she hears that I have fibroid, then already she's crying, she's wailing, she goes to the gynae, please take it off for me. No, it's not every fibroid that needs to be removed. Some, the size is small, the location does not cause any problem, so you don't need to get yourself worried about removing. No, that one too is a myth. The only thing is that the over-the-counter medications and others can manage the pain. If you're having heavy bleeding, they can give you some family planning medications to control the bleeding. If you have waist pain, they can give you pain medication and other things. But to give you medication to melt fibroid is a myth. It's not totally true. Fibroid, actually, as you growing, you get to your menopause and going, it's supposed to shrink. As I said, it doesn't melt. It will shrink when it's not getting the hormones that is helping it to grow. So women, we have estrogen and progesterone, and it's one factor that helps the uterine fibroid to grow. As we grow, or you get to your menopause and above, you see that those hormones are reducing. So ideally, you are supposed to have a lower risk for uterine fibroid. But we said it's a myth because some people are on medication, hormonal medication. So they will be in their menopause, but they can still have uterine fibroid because they are on hormonal treatments. Do you get me? So it's not every menopause that makes you automatically zero risk for uterine fibroid. So that one too is a myth. So what's your take home today? We are saying that fibroid does not have a cause. It is growing because your uterus is lying idle and they see it to be very fertile. That is why they are growing there. We've also learned that if it is not causing you major signs, you don't need to worry much about it. In as much as we don't know the causes, we have some risk factors. When we say risk factors, they are the things that can predispose you, that can expose you to the condition, but they don't make you, or they don't cause the condition. One of it is obesity. If you are big, according to body mass index measurements, you are prone or you have a high risk of having uterine fibroid. Also, if you've not given birth before, you have a higher risk just because your uterus is lying idle or it's not working. Then if you drink alcohol, you smoke, such people are also exposed to uterine fibroid. Research also states that if you have it in your family, there's a higher chance of you acquiring it. Research also says that if you start menses early, you have a high chance of developing uterine fibroid. And then if you also have your menopause too late, you, that person, you also have a higher. And then if you are African American, you have a higher chance of. When should you go see your doctor? Though we said it's no problem, just relax. When should you go and see your doctor? 1, when you feel that you are having heavy menstrual bleeding, you need to go see your doctor. 2, when the location is preventing you from having babies, you're supposed to see your doctor. 3, when it is causing you pain, severe pain, you are supposed to see your doctor. 4, if it's growing continuously, you are supposed to see your doctor. Finally, I want you to know that if you have uterine fibroid, you don't need to wail. You don't need to feel pity of yourself. No. Know that we have other treatments that necessarily do not need to take your uterus away. And most of it does not even need treatments. You good, right? Hope this helps somebody. And this is Health Vibes.